The Pick6 podcast starts now, Week 11 edition.
5 yards, Will Lutz. He's already made 4 today. Lutz in the clutch, and the Broncos have won it. The left guard. And Bryce Young rips it this side. It's caught by Tremble, who turns upfield. Tremble breaks away. Tommy Tremble inside the 15. That is 3. Allen is going to keep it. Josh Allen inside the 5. They're going to push him in. Pay dirt. Touchdown, Bills.
This is week 11 of the Pick6 podcast, and I want you all to listen to this Kevin O'Connell clip, and then I will continue on with the show.
We knew coming into the game that this team had won all of their games by winning the turnover margin, and we lost that 2-0, and did a lot of things as a football team to try to battle and continue to overcome the adversity that we kind of faced in many cases, caused by ourselves and just some certain aspects of the game today. Proud of the way they competed, but not good enough to win overall. And I love the fight to get the lead at the end, and they made a play to get the ball in field goal range on the kickoff return. And they made that play, which ended up being a winning play in a game that was quite honestly something that, we did a lot of the things that we talked about not doing, and the main thing being the turnovers, and got to take a look at them, obviously, but I was proud of the way we ran the ball, tried to stick with it as much as we could, ended up with a couple of 2-minute drives there where we had to go and maybe became one-dimensional, but for the most part, the guys up front felt like we protected. I think we limited the negatives for the most part. We just felt like we were a play away all day.
So that was Kevin O'Connell post-game comments after 19-16 loss to the Bears. Santos kicking that game-winning field goal, which shouldn't have been the case. I think the Bears should have absolutely capitalized on their turnovers and their field position throughout the game. Caleb Williams did absolutely nothing. The Bears defense played solid. But my takeaway again is J.J. McCarthy. I don't need to run down stats. I don't need to do any of that. I'm just going to talk about this very, 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 very seriously. I've been saying this since the day they drafted him on April 25th of 24. He's not the guy for the position. The style of play that he played in the University of Michigan is not what Kevin O'Connell is looking for. Kevin O'Connell has weapons. T.J. Hawkinson. He's got Jordan Addison. He has, of course, Justin Jefferson. He signed Mason in the offseason, who's a fantastic runner. You have these weapons, and Mason's great with the catch and run, by the way. And you signed J.J. McCarthy. Sorry, you drafted J.J. McCarthy, and you came out saying, oh, I believe in him and all this. Does that clip sound like a guy who believes in his team or doesn't believe in his quarterback? We lost a turnover battle, and when you lose a turnover battle, we always felt we were one play away. If Chicago scores or converts on any one of those turnovers or scores 2 of those turnovers into touchdowns, this game is a whole different conversation. That Santos field goal is absolutely means nothing to me because they should have won that game. So Chicago, kudos to them. They came in, they scratched and crawled. They capitalized on JJ's turnovers. They got some points off of it. They should have gotten 6 apiece, including the extra points. And I don't understand when people don't get it. I'm not the only one. There are tons of fans out there, not just Vikings fans, but football fans, analysts. And we all disagree sometimes. We all have our disagreements. We all have our opinions and whatever. But I always say this, and I say it on every show that I've done. Numbers don't lie. When is this gonna, Kevin O'Connell just wasted a season when you have such a good football team, you wasted a season on this young guy. And I'm not blaming J.J. McCarthy 100% because the kid needs to learn. You got to figure out if he's a guy. But in this situation with this team that was 14-3 last year, that's the situation you're going to put him in? That's a fireable offense. That is a fireable offense, folks. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be real. The numbers don't lie. They're 4-6. Detroit 6-4. Green Bay 7-3. And Chicago 7-3. They're not catching none of those teams. Okay? It's a done deal. Okay? It's over. And I'm saying this because J.J. McCarthy is not the answer. He's not the answer. I don't care what anybody says. I've been saying it from day one. And I don't want to spend the entire show on him and his stats and all this, but I have to do this. J.J. McCarthy is a young guy who, he's 6'3", he's less than 200 pounds, and, he's had his moments and whatever the case may be. But if you look at J.J.'s stats, his highest touchdown total was in 2023 when he won the national championship. 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. A pedestrian 2,991 yards. His career high in touchdowns is 22. I mean, he's not that type of a guy. When you have weapons like Justin Jefferson, you have to have a guy who's a deep threat. You have to. It's just common sense. Then you look at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams in 2022 threw 42 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. The next year in 2023, he threw 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He could throw. I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams, but the kid could throw the ball. I've watched him. I'm a college football guy. I've watched these guys. J.J. McCarthy is a dink and dunk type of quarterback, runs, whatever, and that's about it. 22 touchdowns is his career high. And you're putting him in a situation to throw the ball at Justin Jefferson? What are you thinking? What is this? Come on, man. This is crazy stuff. Bryce Young also. 47 touchdowns, 4,872 yards. That was in 2021. The 7 interceptions. My boy Bryce, who's slowly coming of age. Yeah, he's had some tough struggles, even being benched, all that crazy stuff. I still believe in him, and he's doing a good job now. I think he threw for 400 yards. I'm going to talk about him later on in the show. This guy is not the guy for the job. When you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, you need a quarterback that can throw the ball. This guy's not the guy. Kevin O'Connell fumbled this. You need to come out and admit to the fans you fumbled this, and it's over. It's okay to fumble it, but don't sit here and talk about, we were one play away. What? No, you weren't. You're not one play away. You should have lost that. You should have gotten roasted in that game. So I don't want to hear this crap. Now, before I finish off this, and I know, like I said, the score was 19-16, so that's my first pick six. But I want you guys to listen to J.J. McCarthy's 2 sound bites, and then I'm going to comment on that.
JJ, you had so much success in high school and college, and you have some bumps in the road here now. How do you process kind of the adversity that you just face on the field here now?
I think adversity is one of the greatest things for individual growth, collective growth, whatever it is. And, I think it could really separate teams or bring them tighter together. And I feel like this team's being brought tighter and tighter together each and every week. But we're just sick of losing. We want wins every single week. And, we're just going to do everything we can to make sure we get those. But adversity is inevitable in this league. I understood that coming into it. And it's just about how you respond.
When you heard boos, what went through your mind? we got the greatest fans in the world, and they expect a lot more out of us, and rightfully so. And I feel like, it's just a reminder to us that we better get going and we better figure this out. And, obviously, we don't got a whole lot of games left, so the urgency is at an all-time high. But, we just got to be better for the fans, especially at home.
So, J.J. McCarthy is saying all the right things. So he's a very intelligent young man. But if you're smart enough to know it's not the right thing to say in this moment. He's saying the right things, but it's not the right thing to say. Number one, I don't know if you guys are a close locker room. I'm sure there are players on that team are like, what the hell are we doing here? Trust me. Look at the Philly situation with A.J. Brown right now. Again tonight. But like I said, when your big dogs are not getting the ball and situation is not happening, and then you're not winning on top of that, Philly's winning and A.J. Brown's not happy. Minnesota's losing and Justin Jefferson looks like he's getting annoyed, and he should be. I would be annoyed too. And then JJ's saying, well, then he talks about the booze, we got to do something about it. We got to do something about it. You talk about you got to do something. Stop throwing interceptions. Stop throwing interceptions. Wow, how about you figure it out? And then I hear this stuff about patience and stuff like that. Kevin O'Connell, like I said previously, he sounds completely lost in this situation right now. He sounds like a guy who just like, oh shit, this is not working out. And it's getting worse by the second. And it is. JJ McCarthy is talking a lot of crap right now. But as of right now, his NFL career is the following. And I want you guys to listen to this because it's pathetic. Okay? He's played 4 games. Okay? He's 2-2. He's got a 53.7 completion percentage, 692 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. What is he, a third-string quarterback trying to make the team? And I'm not trying to knock this kid. As a person, I'm not knocking him as a person. So hear me out. As an NFL quarterback, he's not the guy. I've seen NFL quarterbacks walk through that door who were tremendous in college. Even Tim Tebow was tremendous at Florida. They completely had no faith in him in the NFL. Managed to still have that one moment with Demaryius Thomas against Pittsburgh at home in that playoff game. He has a moment. You think J.J. McCarthy is better than Tim Tebow? Come on. We know he's not. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who threw picks. Jameis Winston, who has his erratic moments. Joe Flacco, is he better than him? Is he better than Matt Ryan right now that's sitting in there at CBS? I don't think so. I'd call Matt Ryan. Minnesota needs to call themselves incompetent for this decision. Admit it, take accountability, come out and say it, and say, you know what? The year is over. We've already thrown away a year. Let's figure out the offseason. You cannot do this again with him. You cannot do this again with him. Please don't, because you will get cooked. So that's my take. I've just spent a lot of time on this, and I'm not going to. I'm done with this subject now because I'm at the point where I don't even want to talk about Minnesota games anymore. It's like, this is ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? So, folks, up next, he finally gets his moment, but then this happens afterwards. Damn.
First time, it is Shedeur Sanders. Fans do not know that Gabriel is being evaluated for a concussion, but they were chanting.
Now you get a chance to go out there and execute.
3rd down and 10. Sanders takes a big hit, and he's picked off. Intercepted on the play by Nate Wiggins.
Shedeur gets his opportunity. comes in the game to replace Dylan Gabriel, who suffers a concussion. And then there's a moment, they're up 16-10, and then he throws an interception to Nate Wiggins. And the rest is history. Gets sacked twice for a loss of 27, ends up finishing 4 for 16, 47 yards, 1 interception, runs for 16 yards on 3 carries, but it just did not feel right. I just felt like he wasn't prepared at all. Not saying it's his fault or the coaching staff's fault, but the coaches had no choice but to play him. Just seems he was out of sync, out of rhythm, and it really showed. Cleveland defense once again doing their greatness of unbelievableness. Unbelievableness. They had Lamar. They had him dead to rights. They even picked him off twice. And still, Derrick Henry had 18 carries for 103, ran for a touchdown. Mark Andrews actually rushed for a touchdown too, which was crazy. But this game, final score was 23-16, and this is the other game that the Browns just threw away. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to be for Cleveland. How long could they actually stay in football with this? Fans are just losing their ish because of this stuff. But Shador comes in, does his thing, but it just doesn't pan out the way they expected. So, anything else that I have to say about that situation? I just want to hear what Riz and Tony Grossi have to say during the week about this, because I'm sure the show is going to be interesting. I mean, Shador finally gets an opportunity. If you guys ever had a chance to listen to ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo's hilarious. That guy's hilarious. He's one of the few guys I'll actually listen to. And he's really got a lot of passion, a lot of emotion, especially when him and Grossi go at each other. So it'll be interesting to hear what these two have to say about what has just occurred today. So, but next game I'm going to talk about is Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Wow. Buffalo defense has a problem with the run. They're really, really, really suffering with the run. I don't know what's going on with Buffalo. Sean McDermott, I feel, is on borrowed time. I really do. Because we know who's sitting out there looking and waiting for a job. Brian Dable's out there. He's waiting. He's waiting patiently. But Buffalo winning 44-32 against the Bucks. Baker just was very quiet today as far as I'm concerned. He was 16 for 28, 173, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Was sacked once. Josh Allen started off really bad. Like, he started off like classic Josh Allen with that first interception close to the end zone. Josh Allen had a combined 6 touchdowns in this game. He threw for 3 and rushed for 3. That's crazy. He was never sacked in that game. He was finished off 19 for 30, 317, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Was never sacked. He rushed 6 times, 40 yards, 3 touchdowns. James Cook had 1. Tyrell Shavers had 1 rushing touchdown. Ty Johnson had 1. Receiving, sorry. These were receiving touchdowns. These were all receiving touchdowns, not rushing. Josh Allen had all the rushing touchdowns in that game. We even saw the return of Gabe Davis. Sorry, but I have to do that. Keon Coleman got suspended due to lateness for team meetings. Apparently, it's not the first time. And then, of course, there's a Deion Dawkins clip that you guys will hear after this. This is the NFL. I'll tell you right now. Here today, gone tomorrow. That's the NFL. So, but again, Josh Allen. But the highlight for me was Sean Tucker. This guy went for 2 rushing touchdowns, 19 carries for 106. And he had 2 receptions for 34 yards. They couldn't stop this guy. What's going on with Buffalo and stopping the run? And I'll tell you right now, I keep saying it, Sean McDermott is so on the hot seat. keep saying all the time, if this guy does not get to at least the AFC Championship game or even the Super Bowl, he's out. I mean, he's had his opportunities. I'm just saying, it's the numbers don't lie. Like, this is horrible, man. And the stats don't justify. I watched that game, and Sean Tucker was doing whatever he wanted to that defense. Shredded them. Man, oh man. Buffalo winning 44-32, but if they don't fix this rushing situation, they're going to be out very early in the first round. I'll tell you that right now. They won't make it past the first round of the playoffs. They have to fix that. So, before I continue on, I want you all to listen to this Dion Dawkins clip, because this is what I always talk about with being committed to something. And a lot of these young guys are not. And they feel they could do certain things and bring their bad habits. The NFL is hi today, goodbye tomorrow. So listen to this clip, and then I'm going to continue on with the next Pick6 game.
I already spoke to him. When I spoke to Keon before in this game, and I told him, I said, bro, look, don't even worry about it. Everybody goes through a different journey, right? Let's just say that this is the last time, and let's just move forward. And he said, I'm with you. That's all and we need, right? Like, nobody's perfect, but in this league, we need guys to come on. And Keon knows, right? Now he's in the hot seat, and he needs to come on and show up for us. Pats on the back are over with, and it's time for him to grow up, and he knows it. And as an older player on the team, we hold everybody accountable, and we shoot straight. We don't sugarcoat it, and the words were said to him, and he took it well. And we'll see how it goes in this week. But like I said in the beginning of the season, I'm in Keon's corner, man. Like, this league is hard. Being on time is hard. Being great is hard. Pushing for greatness is hard. So we got his back, but the time is now.
Carolina 30, Falcons 27. My boy Bryce Young, 31 for 45, 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 5 times, though, for a loss of 29. But I'm so happy for this guy, because this kid has been fighting to stay, in the game and not looking over his shoulder, thinking he's going to get benched. He played such a good game. Panthers, again, winning 30-27, finishing off with that winning field goal. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about PICK6IX and Kirk Cousins. Something's going on in Atlanta. But the bright spot, of course, Bijan Robinson, once again doing his heavy work. 23 carries, 104, 2 touchdowns. Also receiving 39 yards for 4 receptions. Drake London doing his thing. I mean, I don't know what to say about Atlanta. 3-7. The lights are basically turned off for them. So their season is done as far as I'm concerned. But, these things happen, and you just got to move on. But the next order of business, I got to give him his props. 41-22, Santa Claus, the gift that keeps on giving. Wow. Fantastic play calling. He got Brock Purdy back after missing 2 decades of football. 19 for 26, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, doing exactly what Brock Purdy does. Staying conservative, playing within his means, and doing what he can do. Him and George Kittle combining for 2 touchdowns. George Kittle back doing his thing. Christian McCaffrey doing his thing. 13 carries, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. But if you are a Cardinals fan and you're a fantasy player, man, Jacoby Brissett, man, this man threw 57 times. 47 for 57. I said it correctly. 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Never sacked once. Michael Wilson, 15 receptions for 185 yards. Trey McBride, 10 receptions for 115. Greg Dortch, 6 receptions for 66 yards. He had a touchdown reception. McBride had one too. This guy is just, my God, if Minnesota had Jacoby Brissett, we'd be talking a different story right now. Man. But Santa Claus did what he had to do. You know, he's going to say, hey, man, I could do whatever. I could take any quarterback. I mean, Brock Purdy missed 2 years of football, and look what he just did. You know, he's going to say, I did all of this. Santa Claus, the gift that keeps on giving, wins 41-22 versus the Cardinals. Last game, oh, man. Well, actually, there's one I'm going to talk about. There's actually two I'll talk about. But anyways, Denver winning 22-19 with a game-winning field goal by Will Lutz. I have him in fantasy, so I know. And basically putting the claps on the Chiefs. They're 5-5, and most of the teams that are ahead of them in the playoff race, they've lost to all of them. They're on the brink of extinction. Mahomes threw 45 times, 29 for 45, 276, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Bo Nix did absolutely nothing but throw yards. 24 for 37, 295. Jaleel McLaughlin rushed for a touchdown, and this was just one of those games. I don't even know what to say. Like, Travis Kelce actually had 9 receptions for 91 yards, a touchdown, you know, trying to get back to classic Travis Kelce. Kareem Hunt had rushed for 1. But the story of this is Denver finds a way to win, undefeated at home, 9-2. And KC's now 1-4 on the road. They're 5-5, and it just looks like the season is drifting away. A lot of these juggernaut teams that have had their spots for the last 4 or 5 years are drifting away. Buffalo too. They're good right now at 7-3, but there are some moments you're like, they're one bad game away from getting their asses blown out like they did against Miami. And it's going to happen in the playoffs. They got to get that defense right. But anyways, focus here is Chiefs and Broncos. It's such a wrap for KC. They need so much help right now to even think about the playoffs. This game I want to talk about, last game of the day I'm going to talk about, of course, Sunday nighter, Eagles and Lions. Eagles going to 8-2, 4-1 at home. 16-9 wins over the Lions. They're 6-4, 3-3 away, and of course the division loss to Minnesota. That doesn't look good. To J.J. McCarthy, out of all people. Jalen Hurts only threw 28 times for 135 yards. Jared Goff, 14 for 37. Typical Jared Goff, 255, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Jalen Hurts, of course, rushed for a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 7 receptions, 49 yards. He's not happy with that. Ahmad St. Brown only had 2 receptions, 42 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 107 yards reception. He's a running back. What's up with the running backs taking over the receiving duties? Jameson Williams, not Jameis Winston. Jameson Williams, 4 receptions, 88 yards, a touchdown. That guy is good. But the Eagles apparently reports that they talked to A.J. Brown. It's not going to be fixed. This is a wrap. This is a wrap. It's such a wrap, it's not even funny. Also, other news, quick. Seattle and LA battling. Seattle winning, the Rams winning 21-19. So that division is going down to the wire. Rams are now 8-2. Seahawks are 4. Bad back Matt Stafford still finds a way. My gosh, these teams. You know what's a common thing about all these teams? They have a quarterback. All these teams that are winning and competing, whether they win or lose, Tampa Bay's got a quarterback in Baker Mayfield. New England's got Drake May. Jacksonville now has a little bit out of Trevor Lawrence. Buffalo, of course, we know Josh Allen. Carolina, Bryce Young is coming of age. Green Bay has got Jordan. Like, when you have a quarterback, it makes a difference. I mean, I don't know what to say, but I'm signing off for tonight. That is it for Pick 6, Week 11. And, it was just one of those weeks. I'm signing off. I'm out. Peace.